Mehdi Hasan as Dahiya just gave a brutally honest monologue about Israel and its war-hungry, bloodthirsty actions as it's largely conducting genocide in Gaza with the claim of wanting to rescue hostages only to leave tens of thousands of civilians dead in the wake and largely fail at their goals with no signs of stopping in the immediate future. And now it seems they want to continue their treacherous actions into Lebanon as seemingly nothing will be enough for their government until every nation around them is land that they can occupy and control.
Just last week, we learned that top Israeli generals have approved battle plans for a new offensive in Lebanon after months of violent back and forth at the border with the militia group Hezbollah. And Netanyahu, who has a personal interest in starting new wars in order to keep his coalition intact and stay out of jail, ratcheted up the rhetoric this past weekend when he talked about Hezbollah and stated that Israel will begin moving its forces north to the border with Lebanon and is preparing to, quote, fight on several fronts. In fact, Israel killed a senior Hezbollah commander in an airstrike earlier this month, which led to the militant group firing over 200 rockets into northern Israel. Tens of thousands of Lebanese and Israeli civilians have been displaced from their homes on both sides of the border since October the 7th. Of course, this conflict goes back to way before October the 7th. Israel occupied southern Lebanon for 22 years up until 2000, and both Hezbollah and the Lebanese government say Israel is still occupying what they say is Lebanese land, the Sheba Farms.
For Israel, it doesn't matter that the highest international court said there is a plausible case for genocide going on in Gaza, or that the ICC has issued warrants for the arrest of Netanyahu and his top senior officials. They are ready to rage on with destruction. Now, clearly expanding this war into multiple fronts would be a massive escalation on the hand of Israel and could have huge implications for the region moving forward, and it would plausibly draw many surrounding nations into the conflict. But it seems that Israel is hyped up on its conquest, probably feeling confident from the unwavering support that it's getting from America, and it's ready to take that risk, despite Hezbollah in recent months only responding to attacks from Israel that it itself has conducted first. And just like Gaza, it was once occupied territory by Israel, with land being annexed by Israel and now settlers, Israeli settlers living on it. It sounds familiar, and it adds credence to this cycle being a cycle that Israel creates to impose on others, specifically Arab communities, only to then turn around and play the victim when it needs America's backing.
Let's go back in time for a second, back to an Israeli war in pursuit of Israeli hostages that was so bad, so awful, it was deemed a, quote, big and serious failure by Israel's own government-appointed commission of inquiry. I'm not talking about Gaza in 2009 or 2014, but about Lebanon in 2006, when Israel under Prime Minister Ehud Olmert hastily launched an unexpected military offensive in Lebanon that was widely condemned as a disproportionate response to Hezbollah after that militia group killed 3 Israeli soldiers and captured 2 others in a cross-border raid. During Israel's 2006 assault on Lebanon, Human Rights Watch states that the Israeli military had a reckless indifference to the fate of Lebanese civilians, killing approximately 900 Lebanese civilians, injuring 4,000, and displacing an estimated 1 million people, all in just 34 days of war.
Disproportionate responses are the name of Israel's government's game. It's clear the intentions are predicated on the hatred of Arabs. They subjugate them to oppression, drain them of resources, slaughter them if they feel like, force them into poverty, and if they so much as look at them wrong, they're going to drop bombs on you because they have them and you don't. It's pretty clear. I mean, 3 Israeli soldiers dead, leading to 900 Lebanese dead, 1 million displaced, all in over a month. But we've seen this in Gaza as well recently. All human rights organizations speak out, Zionists defend them, America continues to support them and send them weapons, and Israel just carries on as if what it's doing is okay and not eradicating a group of people.
Refugees who were simply trying to escape Israel's military campaign. Killing refugees in the place where they thought they'd find refuge. Sound familiar? In total, 30,000 homes were destroyed or damaged in 2006, along with 109 bridges and 137 roads across Lebanon, according to the Red Cross. And again, all this wanton destruction to rescue just 2 Israeli soldiers, a goal they weren't even able to accomplish. And here's the thing. All that criticism I mentioned about Israel delivering a wildly disproportionate response to Hezbollah wasn't just some commentary by human rights groups or critics of Israel. It was actual Israeli military policy. Yes, it's called the Dahiya doctrine, and it was named after the Beirut suburb of Dahiya that Israel flattened in that 2006 war. The Dahiya doctrine is all about intentionally inflicting long-lasting and disproportionate damage onto your enemy to deter them from attacking you again, no matter how bad the civilian consequences of those attacks may be.
And that just gives the game away. It's not just human rights organizations. It's literal Israeli policy. Israel doesn't care about how many cities it destroys, how many homes it flatlines, how many children it kills, women, civilians it leaves murdered, even when they don't end up reaching their goals in doing so. Which, I mean, bombing a city that you think your hostages are in no way the way to rescue those hostages. It almost just ensures their death, probably so they could then blame it on the Arab communities. It all boils down to exactly that: death and destruction to them, letting the surrounding nations know you're less than we are, you don't have any power, that she must bow to the knee for Israel and whatever their wishes are. It's sick and disgusting, it's horrendous, and it's a cycle that they're now repeating and carrying out even longer with the people of Gaza, and it horrendously seems they're going to continue that cycle into Lebanon once again, and once again it leaves me asking, when will enough be enough for America to stop supporting this? But since AIPAC has bought and paid for most of our politicians, it really seems like the answer may be never. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations to get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.